Myself Jayashree Inchal welcomes you for the lecture series on Unix programming, module number 2, lecture number 9. In the previous class, we have ended with the first module and we have done some revision of the commands in Unix environment with hands-on in Linux environment. In that interaction class, we have executed some of the commands in Linux environment uh, with such as basic Linux commands as well as file related commands as well as directory commands. So in this today's class, we are going to discuss about basic file attributes. What exactly the file consists of and what are all the different basic attributes are there, which is going to allow the user to access the files. Even he can the user is going to access the other files also, even which are not belonging to them without infringing on security. So a file, if it is created, the number of attributes are normally what we call it as an properties that are stored in the inode. In this chapter or in this today's lecture, you are going to discuss about the different display file attributes or properties. That thing will be done with the command ls minus l, and we are going to discuss about listing of a specific directory, how to list out only the directories, and how to change the ownership as well as group ownership. And also we are going to discuss about different file permissions. With this you will be able to learn even how to handle and how to access the other files in Unix environment. So in the Unix file system, when the user is created a file and user is going to have the permission to access the his own files, and even user is going to access the other files also which it is not belonging to them. If it is not belonging to them, obviously that thing will be considered as infringing to security. So, but the Unix system is going to allow to access the other files without infringing on security. A file has a number of attributes. Normally, these attributes are called as properties of that file. And when the file is being created, these properties are normally associated with the file. And these all the attributes are going to be stored in the inode. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about these all the points related with the file attributes and how to list the directory and ownership and group ownership with the different file permissions. Now let us move to the first one, that is listing file attributes. How to list the file attributes? There is a command in Unix, that is ls command, which is used to obtain a list of all file names in the current directory. That also we have discussed. I have shown you this execution with the ls command. This is going to list all the file names in the current directory, and even it is going to have many of the attributes. When the file is associated, whenever it is going to list the file, that all the attributes are going to be normally attached to the particular files. So if we want to know all those attributes, uh, normally that attributes will be stored in the files inode. So if we want to retrieve those attributes or properties of the file, Unix is going to provide us an ls command to look up the file inode. That files inode where exactly the all the files attributes are stored. So when the file is being created, it is going to be associated with the different attributes, but ls is going to list the 7 attributes of all the files in the current directory. So if you just use the ls command, which is going to obtain a list of all file names with the 7 attributes. Okay, so first attribute is related to file type and permission. What type of file? Whether is it a regular file or directory file, the file type, and even with its permissions. Permissions are associated with the file. Means some of the permissions such as read, write permission and execute permissions will be assigned only to the user or group owner, and others also. Like that, that permission will be also associated with the file type. The first attribute is file type and the permission. Again, we are going to discuss in detail one by one later. Then second one is about the link. This is a second property or attribute which is going to list when we use a ls minus l command. It indicates that the number of file names maintained by the system. Means it doesn't mean that there are so many copies of the file, just which is going to number the file names, and that links will be established with the that particular file name. That is normally will be considered with the help of some symbolic links or hard links. When the symbolic link will be created, so that file is associated with how many number of files, that will be considered as a second property. Third property is the ownership of that file. Whenever the file is created by the owner or the user, the one who is going to create the file will become a owner of that file. So the user who is logged in from the username, whatever the username we give through the Unix environment, that becomes the user of the user or the creator of that file. So that particular username is considered as a owner of the file. Next is about the group ownership. When a user is attached to a group owner, suppose that particular user is attached to one more other group or another group or group owner, so that name will be established. Every member, whatever the users are going to log in onto the Unix environment, every member of that group can access the file depending on the permission assigned. So only with the user, if you are logged in, only the user is going to have the creator of that file and he is going to have the access to the files. But when there are many number of users, so for that particular users, it may access with some group owner. So group owner will be a member which that particular group is going to consist and can access the file particular depending on the permissions assigned. So this is what about the fourth attribute of that file. Next, fifth attribute is related with the file size. When the file is created, file size will be normally allocated in terms of bytes. So it is when you list the all the files, the attributes of the file size will be displayed in terms of bytes. So it will be normally the number of character in the file rather than the actual size occupied on the disk. But normally in the Windows system, it is not depending upon that the how many number of actual size it has occupied on the disk will be get displayed. But in Linux, normally the size will be calculated in the form of how many number of characters are there in the file, including all the characters, including space and new line. All the characters will be considered as an file size, and that file size will be assigned in the form of bytes. So that will be the fifth attribute of the file. Then next is sixth one. Sorry, here it is renamed as fifth. Sixth attribute is last modification date and time. Last modification time is the sixth field. So if you change only the permissions for user or for ownership of the file, the modification time remains unchanged. Okay. So if at least one character is added to the file, or if the file is removed from the file, or then that particular field needs to be get updated, right? So whenever you are going to modify any of the file, whether you have altered the some contents or whether you have deleted some content, added new content, whatever may be the modification of the file related in Unix environment, that thing will be saved, and that whenever it is going to get saved with updated file, so which is going to have the last modification date and time. So whatever the system date and time is assigned, so that system date and time will be considered for the modification of that particular file. So that will be the sixth attribute of the file. And then next last one is about the seventh attribute that is related to the last field, which is going to display the file name. That is only whatever the file name we are referring here. So if there are many number of files, so all the files will be distinguished with the with the name of the file. So this is what the one example of that whatever the attributes it has been displayed when you execute an ls command. Take this example here. When in that the user prompt on the terminal, just you have typed ls minus l. So which is going to list out how many number of total files or total number of bytes are there according to the current directory. Under the current directory, how many number of files, bytes will be allocated. Then the immediately next line will be this. So the first attribute, this is second attribute, third attribute, fourth attribute, fifth attribute, and this is sixth attribute, last is seventh attribute. First attribute is related with the file type and permission. The file type will be either recognized by the first symbol. Here you can notice the first symbol. For the first two listing, here it is a hyphen, and the other two lines it is stored as directory. It indicates that these two are the directory files and these are two are regular files. That file type is only identified with the first character here. If it is hyphen, it is a regular file, and if it is D, it is a directory file. Next is associated with the file permission. This is file type, and next file permission. File permission will be grouped in terms of user, group, and others. So for users, three permissions are given: read, write, and execute. Same thing with others and groups. Okay. So W indicates write permission, R indicates read permission, hyphen indicates no permission, and X indicates execute permission. So like that, the permissions will be assigned for all the users, three different users. Those are user, group, and the others. Okay. Again, you are going to study in detail about assigning and what exactly it means. So this is all about the first attribute. Second column which is going to list that is link. How many number of links has been established or created with a particular file. So for the chapter 1 only one link, and for chapter 2 two links are there. So this is going to have the file link. Next is this is the owner or user, normal user name, or who is the creator of the file. So this is the group owner of that file. So if the owner is Kumar, for example, Kumar has logged in onto the system with the name username Kumar, so which is going to show that username is Kumar or owner is Kumar. The next fourth attribute is group owner. So if the group is considered as here Meta, so at that time Meta1 will be the group name. Okay, or sometimes if there is no groups, then same name will be considered as a group owner also. So here it is being given with another group, that is Meta group. So it is showing the group owner is Meta1. Then next is file size. File size will be allocated in terms of bytes. So this is what different bytes for different files. And then this is the last modification time. If any of the content is updated, added or deleted, something like that, when it has been updated, with what time, depending upon the system time when it is updated. So all these things will be stored under the this sixth attribute. And last one is about file name. In this it is going to just display the file name, what type of file name it has. So this is all about the total 7 attributes of the file. So next is the listing of directories or directory attributes, same as that of the file attributes, but ls, while executing the command, only it lists the directories. So for that we use a option with ls command is ls minus d. So which is going to list all the directories, not with any of the subdirectories in that, but only it will list out the all the directories in the current working directory. Say for example ls minus ld means listing of all the details of the only directory files. Actually here are two options, minus l and minus d. These two are combined, so that those two options are combined, and given that option is minus ld, and here it is being given with the two directory names as an argument. So help dir is one directory and proxy is another directory. So if you give these two directories, so which is going to list out all the 7 attributes. So D indicates directory, the permission for user group and others, symbolic link, then user, group owner, the file size, modification time, and the directory name. Okay, so directories are easily identified in the listing by the first character in the here you can see first column, first character in the first column, which here shows as D. If it is hyphen, it indicates that it is a regular file. The significance of these attributes of a directory differs a good deal from the ordinary file. To see the attributes of a directory rather than the files contained in it, you just use ls-ld with the directory name. So simply you use ls-t, which is not going to list all subdirectories in the current directory. So now let us move to the file ownership. So when you create a file, you means the user who has logged into the Unix environment or Unix system. So he is going to create the file. So he will be, or that particular user will be the owner of that file. Every owner is attached to a particular group owner, and even several users are going to belonging to a single group, and some of the privileges of the group are being set by the owner of the file but not by the group members. When the system administrator creates a user account, he has to assign these parameters to the user. Okay, and that user id, what normally that will be unique one uid with its name and some numeric representation, and even the group id is also to be created by the system administrator, and that will be also distinguished with its unique name and the numeric representation. So this is what about file ownership, that is second attribute. Next is file permission. Third attribute is file permission. Unix is going to follow three-tiered file protection system, which is going to determine file access rights. So who has to access the particular files. So actually there are three different types of users who is going to access the file. One is the owner, group owner, and the others. So if you give the permission for a owner, the permissions are set like this, RWX. It indicates that read permission, write permission, and execute permission will be assigned to the owner. Same thing with group owner and the other owners. Say for example, if this is a case, this is what being displayed for a particular file. Say for example, chap2. So it indicates that first one is regular file, hyphen is there, first character. So it indicates that it is a regular file. Then next three characters are owner, or normally we say that user. So user is given here, you can see in the first column RWX, means read, write, execute permissions are assigned to the owner. Second, next three characters is R-X. See, you can notice here R-X indicates that read and execute permissions will be assigned to the group owner, that is second group. Then last three characters R-hyphen. Here you can notice R-hyphen. So R-hyphen indicates that for others, other users, only we have assigned the read permission but not the write permission and the execute permission. The first group has three permissions. The file is readable, writable, and executable by the owner of the file. Second group has a hyphen in the middle slot. It indicates that it is the absence of write permission by the group owner of the file. Third group is other group. In that read and execute bits are absent, means this set permission is only applicable to the others. So even you can change the different permission for the three categories, users, owner, group, and the others. But whenever if you want to set the different permissions, it is important that you need to understand before changing into the permissions. Suppose if you give some faulty permission file, a particular file, so it may be a dangerous thing and it may have some faulty file permission is a sure recipe of a for disaster. So as I already told, even we have the user is going to have the permission to change the file permissions. So changing the file permissions can be done by using the command. Before going into that command, so how exactly file or directory will be created with a default set of permissions. So that default set of the permissions can be determined. What are all the default permissions are there? That thing will be determined by using by umask. Okay. So let us assume that file permission for the created file is this. Okay. File created for this means this is ordinary file, and read write permission for user, only read permission for group and others. So I want to change these permission I want to change. So as a user, okay. So using chmod command, remember using this is a command name, that is chmod. Chmod is a command in Unix which is used to change the file permission. Okay, so using the chmod command we can change the file permission and even which is going to allow the owner to execute the file. But this command can be used in two different ways. One way is in relative manner by specifying the changes to the current permissions, and another way is through the absolute manner by specifying the final permissions. Okay, so now let us move to the first one, that is relative permission. For both the permission same command is used. So in relative permission, chmod, that is chmod command only changes the permissions specified in the command line and leaves the other permissions unchanged. Okay, so this is how exactly you have to use the chmod command. Syntax is write the command chmod, then category, operation, then permission and the file name. Okay, this is what the syntax how to use a chmod command. Chmod is a command which takes as an expression as its argument. Okay, normally the argument for the chmod will be in the form of an expression. So that contains a user category. User category, actually there are three users are there. One is owner, group owner and others. Then another one is operation. What operation needs to be performed? So either you are going to assign a permission or whether you want to remove a permission. So for us there are two operations related with operations to be performed. That is second one. So for assigning normally we use a plus and removing minus. Then next one is type of permission. Type of permissions are three: read, write and execute. Okay. So this is all about the syntax explanation. So if I say about category, there are three users. So whenever I am going to use the user group, so I have to use the symbol U. So U indicates user. Try to remember these notations. These are very important for assigning the or changing the permissions for different users. G is for group, same name itself indicates, nothing difficult in remembering all those things also. Even U for others and A for all means user, group and others. Okay, actually there are four letters you have to use for category. U indicates user, G indicates group, O indicates other and all A. Then operation needs to be performed, whether you want to assign the permission or delete the permission or remove the permission. So for that plus sign is used for assignment and remove minus sign, and for absolute permission you are going to use equal to. Then third one is permission, that is R for read, W for write and X for execute. Now let us discuss these all the thing with some examples. Say for example, this is what the initial permission is given for the some file. Say according to this file is xstart. Okay, xstart is a one file. The name of the file when it was created is September 23. This is what the number of bytes assigned, name, group name, username and the links, and this is what the permissions given. But here if you want to change the permissions associated with this file xstart, so file what you have to do is you have to use the chmod. Chmod U plus X if I write. So U indicates that users will be assigned, plus indicates assigned, that is X. X indicates execute permission. Initially you notice here is for user no execute permissions are given. If you see the first three characters, RW hyphen is there. First bit you leave, that indicates the type of the file. This is regular file. For that it is showing hyphen. And now these are the three bits. First three bits are RW hyphen. Hyphen indicates that no execute permission. But I want to assign the execute permission for the user. So for that I have to write the expression like this. U plus X means what it does. So U plus X the file name. Okay. Then if you check this thing, once if it has been changed, so it is going to show you like this RWX. Initially it was RW hyphen and now it is being changed to RWX. So the command plus is going to assign the permission, that is X permission, that is indicates that execute permission to the user, and other permission, here we have not written anything after this. So other are going to be remain unchanged. So next here you can see with another example, UGO plus X indicates, that is a file name. Okay, UGO plus X. So indicates that user group others are assigned with X permission, that is execute permission. So now you can see the change. All the groups will be assigned with the execute permissions. Instead of this, even you can use like this also. For example, all plus X start. All means user group and others. Instead of UGO, you can write A. A indicates all. Either you use this expression or A plus X expression, or else even chmod plus X for X start. So which is going to assign the what, the execute permission for all the users. And just if you check with ls minus l, now the permissions are changed. So this is how the examples you can write and change the permissions to the file. And even not only with a single file, even the file permission can be done or changed with multiple file names also. Say for example here, chmod u plus x means user will be assigned with the execute permission with all these files. If there are 3 files, note 1, note 3. So if you just check with all those things, now the user will be assigned with the execute permission for all these files. Okay. Next, another example, GO minus R. GO minus R means group and others will be removed the read permission. GO minus R indicates whatever the assign. You just take this example. So whatever it has been assigned with the execute permission and read permission is there. So if you want to remove that read permission for owner and the others group. So for that group and others, I have to use minus and R. So it becomes now only it has been removed the R permission from the group and others, but not with the user. So user is going to have still the read permission, and group and others are removed the read permission. So in this way, chmod command is used to change the file permissions in related to the relative permissions. So now let us move to the absolute permissions. Here we uh, need not to know about the current file permissions. Okay. So we can set all 9 permissions explicitly. Actually totally 9 permissions are there. RWX, RWX, RWX. Okay. So total 9 permissions are there explicitly, and a string of 3 octal digits. String of 3 octal digits is used as an expression instead of that expression. The permission can be represented by 1 octal digit for each category. 1 octal digit for each category. So how many categories are there? 3 categories are there. So 1 octal digit will be assigned with 3 categories. That is with the help of absolute permission. So now if you want to assign or change the permissions with the help of absolute permission, that thing can be done with the help of octal digits. Remember this. So for each category, normally we add the octal digits and we represent the permissions of each category by 1 octal digit. So this is how actually permissions can be represented. Say for example, this is no permissions. So no permissions will be represented with a 0. So it indicates that no permission. Then just try to remember in the form of binary numbers. This is 000. Next, how the binary number 1 is represented? So 001. So 001 means at the right significant bit, normally RWX we have. So X indicates that only execute permission. That is execute permission. So that indicates that octal 1. Then the same thing, octal 2 value will be represented as hyphen W hyphen, that only indicates write only. So this is 010 in terms of binary number. Next 3 represented 011. So 11 indicates that write and execute permission. Write and execute permission. Write and execute permission means it is 3. Then 4 octal value means 100. So 1 is, that is at the least significant bit. Normally, sorry, it is our most significant bit, we have the R bit. So that is read only. Then 5 101. So 1 hyphen 1. So R and execute. Then 6 represent 110. So read and write. 7 means all. 111. So read, write and execute. So this is how the permissions will be assigned in the form of octal. So now read permission will be considered as an 4 value, that is octal representation is 100. Then write permission is 2, it indicates that 010. Execute permission is 1001. So this is how actually the absolute permissions are considered. Now we have the 3 categories, right, and 3 permissions for each category. So these 3 octal digits are going to describe the file permissions. Okay, the most significant most significant digit or bit represents user. Try to remember this, and at least one represents the others. Chmod, same command is used to assign these 3 bit string as an expression. So using relative we have done like this, right? So A plus RW indicates that all users will be assigned with read and write permissions. Fine. So using the absolute permission, same permissions will be assigned like this. So we are going to write 666. 666 means 6 is assigned with read and write. Read is RW0, that is 4 plus 0102. So total what is that value? 666. So for all means first bit is for user, second bit is for group, and third bit is for others. So totally 6 will be assigned, means for user indicates that read write permission is for user, read write permission for group, and read write permission for others for the particular file name. That is file name here we have taken is extat. Next, what it indicates? 644. Read, write, execute permission for user. 4 indicates that 100. 100 indicates read. Okay, read permission for group and read permission for others. Okay, next you can see here 761. 761 means total 7 means read, write, execute permission for user, read and write permission for group, and only execute permission for 11001 means execute permission. So execute permission will be given to others for this particular file. So in this way the absolute permission will be assigned for all the files with the help of chmod command. So which is going to assign all the permission to the owner, read and write permission for the group, and execute permission to the others. And even 777 signifies what? Read write execute permission for user, read write execute permission for group, and read write execute permission for others. So which is going to signify all the permission for all the categories. 000 means no permissions. It is going to signify that absence of all permissions for all the categories. So this is how actually the permissions will be changed by using chmod command with the help of relative permissions and the absolute permission. So it is the directory permission that determine the change whether the file has been deleted or no, and only the owner can change the file permissions. User cannot change the user's file permissions. Remember this. Only the owner is going to have the access to change the file permission, file owner, but user is not going to have the file permissions, but the system administrator can do anything. So whenever you are going to change some permissions related with a file, some security implications may arise. Say for example, this may be the default permission for the file. This is what the default permission. Just if you give u minus ro, go minus r extat, or else chmod 000 extat. Suppose if you have given something like this, what it indicates? This simply shows all the hyphens. It indicates that it is user can't delete the file. Whatever the file it has been assigned here, extat, it is there. So this simply tells that user is unable to delete the file. On the other hand, suppose if you have given all the permissions to all the files, it indicates that never allows this situation, because you can never have a secure system because you have given all the permissions to all the group users. So hence directory permissions also play a vital role here. So even you can change, use the chmod recursively also. Chmod recursively. To use the chmod recursively, you have the option, that is chmod -r. So -r indicates chmod is used and recursively, and a plus x is, this is what we have discussed. So what this recursive mode does is, it is going to make all the files and subdirectories found in the shell scripts directory executable by all the users. And when you know that shell's meta characters as well, you will appropriate that particular star meta character doesn't match file names beginning with a dot. And that dot is generally safer, but not that both the commands are going to give the permissions of the directory also. So even we have the change or assigning the permissions or changing the permission for the directory also with the same command. It is not possible that a file cannot be accessed even though it has a read permission. Okay, and can be removed when it is write protected. You just have that particular thing. Okay, it is possible that file cannot be accessed even though it has a read permission, and can be removed. It can be removed even when it is write protected. So that consider this case and have that default permission like this 755. Okay, read write execute permission for user, only read and execute permission for group, read and execute permission for other. So the directory must never be writable by group and others. So just if you check with the directory with the details, it is going to show like this. So if a directory has a write permission for a group, you can see here, and others also, be assured that every user can remove every file in the directory. So as a rule, you must not make directories universally writable unless you have definite reasons to do so. So normally directories are not going to have a write permission. So if you want to do so, you should have some reasons. Okay, definite reasons to do so, because directories are universally writable unless you have definite reasons to do those are not in a writable mode. You must not make the directories universally writable. So next we'll move to the changing the file ownership. Actually this is not for your syllabus, but let me tell you should know about even how to change the file ownership also. In Unix system with Berkeley software distribution, even only the system administrator can use this, but not even the user also, owner also. Okay, only the system administrator is going to use the file ownership. So file ownership can be changed with CHOWN. So changing the ownership requires super user permission. Super user means the administrator, or it can be a super user. Even you can use the SU command also. So if you use CHOWN Sharma, so instead of Kumar now it has been assigned with Sharma. You just change. See the example here. Okay. So whatever the owner, it has been assigned with the Kumar, that thing will be changed to now Sharma, that will be assigned with the owner of the group. And same thing it can be done with the ownership by the group owner also. That thing will be done with the command chgroup. So this command changes the file's group owner. So no super user permissions are required. Just you have to use chgrp, the name of the files, and what are all the permissions you are giving. So instead of Kumar, now it has been changed to, sorry, instead of this group owner, it has been changed. The group owner is, name is DBA. So today we have discussed about all the basic file attributes and how to change the ownership and how to change the file permissions related with the different users. So these are the important questions for your examination point of view. Just refer all these questions and refer the textbook for the today's lecture with chapter 6, subsection 6.1 to 6.4. Refer these page numbers 107 to 117. And if you want to have the additional link for video YouTube link, just refer this link. Another type of explanation will be given with you. Will be given to you. Suppose if you feel any difficulty in understanding these concepts, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.